Hey everyone, thank you for joining the training. Today we're going to be doing a training on bestseller status, how to get on bestseller lists as an author. So if you guys are coming on, this is going to be about 20-30 minutes. So turn off any distractions. You're not going to want to miss a single moment in this masterclass. Plus I have a fun little surprise for you guys at the end. So let's have some fun. So I'm Danielle, your Dream Client Attraction Specialist. I'm an online marketer, biz coach, and messaging queen, and I've been an entrepreneur since 2009. So I've been working in the back end of digital marketing for quite some time. Something you may or may not know about me is that I'm all about authenticity. So it's a wonderful meshing together when it comes to marketing and authenticity. This is really where the industry is heading. So I'm excited to be sharing a small part of how we can get you to step up and step out as a best-selling author. Okay, so I'm very much a let's write as we do. So when we're training, I like to actually make it very interactive and kind of write some of the options and all that good stuff. So here are some options. If you guys have a pen and paper, you're going to want to grab it real quick. You're going to want to hit pause on the training and go ahead and grab it. And we're going to talk first about options that you have to publish. So if you're writing a book, you may be a little overwhelmed with all the options that you have, and you may not even know where to get started. That's what I'm hearing from a lot of people, that I have a book idea, I have no idea how to get started, Danielle. I mean, where do I even publish? And it's really much simpler to publish than you think. So one of the simplest ways is to self-publish. Nope. So there we go. I just got to get this just right. I want to do that. And then I'm actually going to take you guys, I'm going to show you guys examples too, because I love to do this where I'm just kind of taking you guys along for the ride. So self-publish is one. You can have a publisher or a publishing company. So with all of these, there's different options too. So with self-publish, you can self-publish almost anything. It could be 20 pages, it could be 600 pages. I mean, the sky's the limit on self-publishing. It's a digital copy. You'll be able to sell it right from places like Amazon. You can also turn the self-published books into hard copy books by using publishing firms, and that's kind of where. And then if you want to go the traditional route, which is publishers, then you submit queries and you submit information and then they'll ask for the manuscript. So that's kind of a dying way of getting published. It's very hard to get published from a publisher. That's why a lot of people are taking the self-publish route. And then you can go with a publishing company, and there's a lot of different things that a publishing company will do. They will just publish your book as is, and they'll charge you for the hard copies of it. There's also publishing companies that they take on more of a co-creative authorship. So there's co-author opportunities that you could even just be a part of, or you can project manage it. And I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end too, guys. So yeah, so those are just the three options. So I want to go into one of them real quick, which is the I'll do self-publish second, but I'm just going to talk about a publisher and kind of getting on the bestseller list for the New York bestseller list. That's what a lot of people are like, I'd rather do that. So it's not quite what you think it is. It's not that you sold so many books when you're a New York bestseller. It's more about that you sold books and they're available in several different stores. So that's kind of what it is. So prerequisites for a bestseller campaign from a New York bestselling author is that you do need a publishing deal. You need to get a publishing deal, and because New York Times doesn't recognize any books that don't come from some kind of New York publishing house. That's kind of what it is. Because self-published or hybrid published books those ones aren't going to work, unfortunately. You also want to have a plan, because even if you get published by an author, because I've worked with several authors, you are still required to sell your books, to market your books. So it's not even so much that you hand it over to a publishing company, New York publishing company, and they're like, okay, we're going to get it on the bestseller list. That's not normally the case. Normally the case is that they want you to sell and to market your book for them. And that's like the whole purpose of it. So you get like this is why we say a New York bestseller campaign. You know, and the biggest plan is to have 10,000 plus pre-orders. So you want 10,000 people or 10,000 stores to order 10,000 or more, so that you can hit that bestseller mark. Now, there's a lot of ways to do that. You can get a corporation to sponsor you that'll buy all those copies. That's one way if you don't have a bookstore. You're going to want to reach out to bookstores and tell them about your book and say that you can pre-order them. There's lots of sales channels through the New York Times that have lists of these. So you have the options of doing that, but there's a lot of work that goes into becoming a New York bestseller, New York Times bestseller. Like, it's not just that I'm going to cross my fingers and then, you know, put in my fabulous book and have the publishers run with it. They're not going to do that. So 10,000. So think about that. 10,000 pre-orders. You need to get mainstream press to validate your book. So this isn't like something you absolutely have to do, but this is something that it will get you that much more opportunity to get on the New York Times bestseller list. So, and mainstream media is like sources around New York City or coastal on the East Coast, which is, you know, radio shows, blogs, news channels, all that stuff. So you got to be in the mainstream media. So not only do you need to market your books to these bookstores and corporations, you also need to be very visible. So there's a lot that goes into being a New York bestseller. I mean, this is just scratching the surface. There's a few more things that you would have to do. So it's not, I'm not saying it to discourage you guys. I mean, if you think like, yeah, I can totally do a New York Times bestseller, I'm like so on it, I'm the next Tony Robbins or the next Oprah, then yeah, absolutely go for that. You know, but for those of you who are more like, let's go the self-published route. What do I do, Danielle? What do I do to get self-published? Okay, so, and I'm going to take you on a tour, guys, because I love doing that. So with that, it's Amazon, and it's not even Amazon, it's KDP Publishing, which is kdpamazon.com. So KDP Publishing is the Kindle, self-published ebooks, paperbacks for free. And Kindle Direct Publishing. It's really easy. You sign up with one of your PayPal, or not your PayPals, I'm sorry, your Amazon accounts, and you go into the back end, and that's what you have. So, and just give me 1 second. Okay, so I'm in the back end of mine. I have a wonderful book, and here's my bookshelf, and this is where I publish it, Kindle Direct Publishing. And I did purchase a book cover that I did have to spend. I didn't have to spend a whole lot. There's a lot of places that you can get book covers. My best recommendation for you guys, I worked with a company to get published, to get self-published, and to get on the bestseller list. But, you know, I didn't like the cover that they created for me. So I went to Fiverr, Fiverr.com, and I paid for like a $30 gig to have, you know, as many edits as I wanted. And all I had to do is put in the search box right here is book cover. And you're going to find a ton of people that do book covers. So yeah, this is Kindle Direct Publishing. And it's really easy. You go through a process back here and you can upload it. So let me go back to my PowerPoint here. Right, so that's kind of how you do it. Now, publishing company, like, guys, I'm going to talk to you about this at the end because I have an opportunity I want to talk to you about. So how to get on bestseller list as a self-published author. Yeah, so this is the fun part. And this is kind of like a game because you know, I told you how to get on the bestseller list as a New York Times bestselling author and everything that goes into it. Now, Amazon's a little different. Amazon's a little different. So what I teach is to pre-sell your book before it's even up there, and to do that, and just it's really as simple as finding a very niche. It's finding a very niche category to go in. You do want to pick a category that's relatable, um, but finding a very niche category is how you want to do it. So if you go into books and you look at Kindle books, I'm just going to walk you guys through it a little bit just so you know. Yeah, and all the bestsellers, and you know, all the big guys are on here. Look, John Grisham's he's on Kindle too, because everyone puts their stuff on Kindle. So let's see. Let's do travel. And you'll have all these different categories. Kindle Unlimited. But then if you go down here, look, there's all these different categories. So let's do polar regions. So this is a very niche category. And how can you tell if it's niche? You kind of look at the first few that are top rated. Okay, so Penguins is top rated. So you go in here. And yeah, the higher this number is right here, the better off the category is. So, I mean, it needs to be number one in one of these categories. So that's kind of like, that's a good indicator. This is the number one in here, actually. So, but you can kind of research that and see if it's number one, and then whether or not it's number one or 1 millionth. This one isn't a bestseller. It's not a bestseller right now, but it is high rated. So this isn't the one to look at. So you want to look for the number ones in that category. Best top rated. Okay. Bestsellers. Here we go. So if it's number one in this category, and this one's not, but it's number two in this one, so we want to look at this. So we want to go to this one. Okay, here's your bestsellers. Good. Okay. Went too far. No, didn't go far enough. Oh my goodness, I got tons of comments. That's great. So it's in Kindle store, this is where it is. It's number one in this one. And in the Kindle store, it's 400, 438. So this would be a good category to get into. So you can kind of look at it like that, like, wow, look at this and where it is in the Kindle store, and then it's number one in this one. So that's kind of how you can tell. That's how you can tell that this would be a really good category. It's just seeing where it's ranked in the Kindle store, and then where it's ranked in this particular category. And it's number one, even though it's ranked 44 overall. So, and it's just a game. So what are you going to need? So that's really how you look. You look for those good categories. What you'll need to leverage bestseller status. And this is also good for anyone who's looking to get on the New York bestseller. You need a list, you guys. You need an email subscribe list. Email marketing. Besides one-on-one marketing, email marketing is still the best form of marketing when it comes to getting people interested, getting them involved, and keeping in touch. I know everyone's like, oh, but social media and Facebook and all that stuff. And it is. Social media is wonderful too if you've built it up. But I tell you what, there's a lot of leverageability in email marketing and having that email list in more than one way. Whenever I see events and what converts the best, email marketing converts better than social media every single time, hands down. So you want a good list. You want to start funneling people over to your list. If you don't have if you don't have a decent list, and a decent list is really 5,000 or more, guys, then you're really going to want to focus on getting it up at least to 5,000. 20,000 would be even better if you want to get to bestseller status, but 5,000 will really help you get there. If you don't have that list, that's okay. You can actually reach out to colleagues that do have a list, or at least see if you can get a couple of colleagues to help you with your pre-launch sales opportunity for your to get your book on up to the bestseller status. Now here's the other thing, is that you're going to want to do a pre-sale, and you're going to want to bring it down to that 99 cents, so that it makes it so simple for people to buy your book. They get it for a special discount, they're enticing them. Or you can even get a group of people like, hey guys, I want to get on the bestseller list on Amazon, and I want to get it in 3 categories. Can you purchase my book at this time? On this day. So once you get it uploaded, it takes about 12 to 24 hours for it to show up on Amazon, and that's when you want to get a nice influx of people buying it. So if you have a group of them, I would definitely at least have 50 people to buy that 99-cent pre-sale book, so that you can get to the bestseller list. So that's kind of something you're going to need to leverage that. So what else are you going to want to get to that bestseller status? You're going to want a social media following. If you don't have those 50 people, like, friends and family that are going to do it, then you want to also have a social media following, because if you post that in social media, come buy my book, you're going to have a lot of people trickle in there too. You can probably count on, I'm trying to pull up the numbers for you. You can probably count on, if you have like 2,000, let's say 2,000 followers on social media, you can count on like 1% of those people seeing it, which is a really small number, and then probably a very small portion of those people. So I'd say with 2,000, you probably have about 5 people, like 2 to 5 people that would go ahead and purchase your 99-cent pre-sale book. So that gives you a good idea of what you can do. And this is like 2,000 on Facebook, 2,000 on Instagram. That's what you're looking at. Okay, so ways to use your bestseller status to increase visibility and reach for more sales. Right. So here's the thing. Why do I even want to be a bestseller at this point, right? If I have to sell 10,000 plus pre-ordered books, if I want to be on the New York bestseller list, and then I have to do all this media, if I want to get on the Amazon bestseller, then yes, it seems likely I could do that, but then I have to have an email list, and I gotta get people to buy it, and all that stuff that can run through your head. So what is even the point of being a bestseller? Why don't I just publish my book and forget about it? Well, here's the thing, guys. Having a best-selling book and able to say I'm a #1 best-selling author gives you so much leverage ability when you are talking to other colleagues, when you are talking to potential clients. So if you're using your book for marketing purposes, if you're using it for your business, which I highly recommend. If you don't have a book for your business, I highly recommend you create one. This is going to draw attention to you, because people will take you more seriously. And it's not that you're not an expert, you are an expert, and I know this, but saying that I'm a #1 best-selling author is just showing that you have invested in yourself and in your company in a way that is increasing your visibility. That's really what it does. Whenever someone tells me, when they come to me looking for a speaking opportunity, even if they don't have the list size that I'm usually required, to kind of stop at, like 5,000 is usually what my speaking opportunities are looking for, or more. If they say that they're a #1 best-selling author, I'm like, okay, let's see what you're doing, because you're absolutely trying to be more visible. If you've taken the time and the money to get on the bestseller status and to write the book, then I want to see what you're up to. So it draws a second look, even if you're still building. And it also increases the likelihood that people are going to want to participate in whatever you have going on. They may even want to buy the book. That's the other thing, is that I gift my best-selling book to potential clients. Sometimes if they're really on the fence, I'm like, go ahead and read my book. Here, read the first 2 chapters and see what you think. This is what I'm about. And I said, if you think that's good, working with me one-on-one's even better. So you can use that. You can leverage that to get more sales into your business with whatever you're selling. You can leverage it whenever you do. So if you have a best-selling book and you've taken the time to get podcasts, I mean, podcast guests are going to want to talk to you more if you're a best-selling book, if you're a best-selling author, if you have a book. But you can sell that book whenever you do interviews and stuff. You can sell that book. It's a bestseller too. So people are going to be more interested in buying it. And if they're interested in buying it, they're interested in you. And then there's a whole marketing plan on how to work with that too. So that is how you can leverage it. And there's so much more I could tell you guys about this. I don't want to talk your ear off too much because I wanted to give you kind of an overview of how to be a best-selling author, ways that you can do that, and what you're going to need to get on the bestseller list for both self-published and best-selling and New York best-selling. So if you guys really are interested in fast-tracking this is what I have going on. I have a book, a co-author book that I am managing. I'm project managing and bringing everyone together. And it's an extension of my podcast, Light at the End of the Funnel. It is a wonderful co-created book. There's going to be 25 of us in this book. And not only am I going to get it on the bestseller list, I'm going to get it on the international best-selling list. So I'll be doing that on Amazon and the Kindle version, but this is also going to be available for you guys if you do decide you're like, I definitely want to be in this book. You're also going to be able to buy it in print and use that for yourself and use that to increase your visibility. So if you're really looking for putting your expertise into a book that's guaranteed to get on the international best-selling list, and you want to boost up your visibility and your leverageability, then you definitely want to give me a call. So, or you want to get on the email with me. So I will have a link that should be below this video where you can schedule a call with me. You can also email me. I'll have my business email there so that you can ask any questions. But this is really going to help you guys. And there's speaking opportunities that come along with being a part of this book. So I really highly recommend that you get a hold of us today or tomorrow, because we're actually almost to the point where we've sold our 25 spots, and we're going to have a wait list for the next time I do this. So definitely jump in on this, guys. I hope you enjoyed this training. Let me know if you have any questions.